Hi everyone, this is Men's here. I'm playing the Tier 8 American Premium Heavy Tank, the M6A2E1, which this was a special pre-order tank, so you don't see many of them around. However, you still might see one here or there from time to time if somebody who bought a pre-order heavy tank bundle still plays. And this tank, it'll be curious as whether or not it will ever be sold again on the US server. It can be obtained on other servers at times, especially the Russian one. However, as you see here, it's still a pretty old model. They do plan on reworking it to HD, and the armor will change on it a bit. However, for now, as you see here, it has a ton of whole armor on the front compared to the sides and rear. Now this is based on the M6 heavy tank, and as you know, M6 doesn't have armor like this on it. Now the M6A2E1, 109 millimeters across basically the entire frontal hole, which makes it very difficult to penetrate on the front. However, as you see, its turret also has 191 millimeters on the front, very thin on the sides, and the back has a very thick balance weight, which makes it hard to penetrate the back. However, the mantlet, as you can see, is kind of flatter right around the gun, and there's no armor actually behind this. It's only 191 millimeters thick, so you actually can punch through that very easily because it doesn't overlap with the turret armor behind it. And its cheeks right here are also a little bit thinner, so they're easy to go through as well, as long as this driver's port. However, it's a very interesting tank because, as you can see, it's very tall, and its gun on it is the 105 millimeter, which for tier 8 is okay. However, it does lack accuracy at 0.42 accuracy, and penetration wise, solid there. Damage per shot's okay, and rate of fire as well. This tank is kind of suffers from its armor being negated by a lot of newer tanks, and it doesn't have a ton of hit points to kind of make up for that, because the gun on it, pretty good, but there's nothing too special about this tank aside from the rareness of it, and it looks like a big bobblehead on top of the M6 hull. And it's an okay tank, but not a very fearful tank to face, unless if you don't know where the weak spots are and you're shooting at that frontal hull and just bouncing off of it continuously. Okay, so I'm going to be heading over to the flag part of the map, mainly because for encounter on this, I find it a little bit better to be able to take control of that side rather than try to weed enemies out of that side if they take control of that side. And you have to be very careful because your side hull armor and turret are very weak, and since you are very large, it's very easy for you to take a lot of damage if you get flanked. Now you do have side skirts on this along your tracks, which are 25 millimeters thick, and they add a decent amount of protection against heat shells and HE and all that stuff. However, they won't protect very much against tier 8 and up rounds hitting your sides. Now mobility on this, it's above average for a heavy tank, but still nothing that special, and going up a hill, you're not exactly fast, so it's just something to keep in mind, because with your very large size, you really have to plan on where you're going and when, because if you're called out in front of any enemy tank gun, you're going to take a lot of damage. A little bit worrisome that my team is heading along the edge of the map, since no enemies will really spot you ever since they changed this map and made it a little bit larger, so you don't have to follow along the edge like they are doing. However, as long as if they come over and help, I guess it's okay. So there's only one artillery, which he doesn't exactly hit that hard, so I'm not too concerned. I'm gonna hopefully get a shot on this Challenger, but I don't know if I'm actually gonna make it up in time. Nope. But it was worth a shot. Okay, so that T-32 got in a pretty good spot. Okay, let's see if I can get him. Since I only have .42 accuracy, it's going to be very hard to actually hit these weak spots on this KV. But probably can get him there because he has turned his side to me. I might be able to get one more shot if he comes back over my way. But this Jagged Panther, I definitely can. Nope, never mind, can't get him. I'll go for this KV, hit him in the side of the turret. We are going to need help with resetting these guys. Whether or not we get it, that's another thing. Curious as to whether or not he's going to pop back up. If he does, I'll definitely be able to hit him. But don't know. This other one might. Missed him. Got this APCR round for when this IS-3 decides to move up. With this TD, hopefully. Nope, he stopped. But with this tank, they can easily go through my armor. So I'm not pushing into them unless if I really have to. Helps if they completely miss you like that though. I guess I am gonna start facing these guys. At least they don't know where my weak spots are yet. So that helps out. There's that TD though, and he can put a hurt on me. Let's see what they do. He at least damaged me. It's -3. No, I didn't pin him. Need to get at least the TD out to help these guys when they eventually come back over, but we're slowly losing tanks here. Crap. Doesn't help if you shoot the ground, but that's where that accuracy issue comes into play. Should be able to go through this T-32. We can get this IS-3 out. But I'm using APCR to make up for that bad accuracy. I thought I could have went through him there, but I guess not. I'm going to start turning towards where I think the enemy's coming from. T-29. He's smart. He's hiding behind the hill. There's somebody. I was waiting for him. But if people don't know where to hit you, then your armor can be very good. However, if they knew where my weak spots were, or if they had flanked me, then it would have been a goner. Like I'm about to die. Ooh, never mind. Got him. Thought he had more HP. So, I guess this is plausible that we might get this, as long as if this T-29 doesn't push on me too hard. But he keeps turning his turret to me, which helps me out a lot. Tiger 2, hopefully he bounces. Just need him to bounce one shot. Let's just keep my hull angled. I'm taken out, but hopefully this little tank can do it. Possibly, but it was close. He was lucky to just punch right through my armor close up. So if you're facing this tank, as I kind of point out, you really want to hit the driver's viewport on the front hull if you're aiming for that. If you don't have over 191 millimeters of penetration, get around to the sides, because the whole frontal hull armor is very thick except for that little driver viewport. So if you're unable to hit that or the flat parts of the mantlet, then you're going to be a little bit in trouble. However, this tank's very easy to flank because it doesn't turn very well and the sides are gigantic to hit. So overall, pretty damn good match. Mastery badge first class. I earned 103,000 credits and 50. Experience wise, pretty decent. But I did 3,404 damage, destroyed 6 tanks, which as you see here, high caliber, and I got a Top Gun award as well. As far as damage blocked by armor, 1,270, and I spot it for a little bit as well. But as you see here, I still earned a decent amount of credits, right around 38,000. However, ammunition bill very expensive because with this gun you do need to use a bit of APCR due to the accuracy problems and facing tougher enemies. Your penetration, while good, isn't overwhelming, and combined with that accuracy and aim time, APCR is a lot more reliable, however very expensive. So anyway, if you find yourself against this tank, just keep in mind the negatives of this tank I kind of brought up, since while it can seem a very daunting enemy, especially because it's rare and you might not really know much about it, it does have enough negatives that makes it very easy to counter. However, against a good driver who knows to keep that frontal armor pointed towards the enemy and angled a little bit so they can't really shoot at the sides, and if they're pointing here they're going to bounce a lot, it's able to basically turn out a lot of damage while blocking it. However, most people are capable of getting around to the sides to exploit the very large size and weakness of it as well. So anyway, thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out my website, wotguru.com.